Hello. Another juicy neutrino week is in front of us. We are going to have our own picture horror show. The sun and the earth are going to be in conflict and crisis. So let's see what and how we're going to experience this. So the sun enters the gate of friction, conflict, the fundamental design component of progress, the law that growth cannot exist without friction. This is very interesting. Just had this week a few conversations with people with an open solar plexus that they are about a year in the experiment and very radical, and what happens to them is that their authority gets them more and more to be in a conflict when it's necessary and not run away from it. And when they really experience this conflict in a correct way, the growth that happens immediately from this friction, from this conflict, is amazing. So I just had a new realization of this gate, why it is called like that. This is the source of all emotional waves. This is the bodyguard that guards if the 59, the most sexual and penetrating gate, if it is allowed to get in or not. And apparently what happens is when we live correctly, we let in the correct people, even if it involves friction. We can't grow and evolve without friction. So this is very interesting. This is gate of intimacy. The fear of intimacy is here. We have here in the solar plexus fears, which are not existential fears as or survival fears as the spleen has, but this is emotional fears. This is nervousness about the other, about something that is connected with the other, and this gate carries the fear of intimacy. I don't want to be seen as I really am. Very, very interesting. Very interesting to see that many people that have this gate open have this fear of intimacy that of course changes while being in the experiment radically, but it's interesting to see. So we have this friction and we are going to experience crisis. The 36th gate, the darkening of the light, the rule of cycles in which decline is a natural but not enduring stage. So again, we see that part of our growth and part of our growth cycles in life, yes, this is a gate which is part of the sensing collective circuit that is about cycles. So every time, every cycle has its crisis, and this emotional crisis, this gate of darkening of the light, is part of the human experiential way, of course. And after having this drive from the root, this fantasy drive, and after we cling to the fire, then we jump into the experience in order to get experienced. This is the gate of inexperience that wants to be experienced. Everything here is about new experiences, emotional experiences, a lot of sexuality, a lot of sensuality. Ra calls this gate the gate of fucking. This is part of the Jack of all trades, yeah, the channel of transitoriness, design of Jack of all trades. And these experiences will touch everything and everywhere. This channel, the channel of transitoriness, is a mirror of the channel of talents that we have on the logical side. And there, in the logical side, we gain our mastery by repetition. But Jack of all trades, he wants to experience everything only once and get to the next thing. So these people experience everything and all the time. And they learn, they have a lot of talents because they experienced everything. So this gate of of the inexperience that wants to be experienced, yes, the gate of the emotional crisis, is also carries the fear of inadequacy, but this is not the same as the 48th gate, as the well, but this is about not fitting sexually or not fitting emotionally. So, of course, it wants to fit, it wants to grow, so it wants to try everything. So and of course, in this stream of desire, when we have all this energy, the fuel for a new adventure, and then we cling to the fire, and then we jump to the fire, then there is an emotional crisis, which is part of the cycle of growth. So these two gates, I realize now why they so belong together. Beautiful gates. And then Mercury is in his retrograde, and he's again forming for us the channel of the abstract, and Mars will arrange for us some abstract ideas, and maybe they will be sensual and sexual, because this is the same, this is the mental stream of the sensing circuit, so the whole thing works together. So who knows what we will dream about and what ideas will go in our head, will run in our heads. And then Venus gets into the gates of continuity, duration, the fear of failure, the 32nd gate in the spleen, and it's about continuity or not. And of course, with all these trying to gain sexual and experience in every sexual experience and experience in everything that Jack wants to put his hands in, there could be also a fear of failure. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm inadequate. And then Mercury frees our mind a little bit and leaves the gate of oppression, goes back to the gate of confusion. So he runs the other way now. And that's it. That we are going to have we can have a horror picture show. We can laugh about it. We can experience some things, but let us not take them seriously and not take them personally, because this stream, the human experiential way, it's all about not taking the experiences personally, just experience for the experience, not for the person. Now, Janet here is already, the crisis already darkened her light. It's just the beginning of the movie, I think, and she's already half dead, but we have better tools to deal with this horror show. We have our strategy that it really, really protects us, and we have our inner authority that navigates us when something arrives to us correctly according to our strategy. And of course, after watching the movie and after, well, I'm not going to recommend to eat popcorn while watching it, because popcorn is not healthy, but I can recommend fresh corn, fresh organic corn that was just picked from the field. So you can sit and watch the movie eating this corn, and then when the movie is over and it's getting dark, the darkening of the light, then we go to our little chambers of horrors, and we sleep alone. So these are this holy trinity that will save us from horrors that don't belong to us. Have a great week. Bye-bye.